Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, St. Catherine North Police named 12 persons of interest, including Sweetie and the Tone Man. The St. Catherine North Police have listed 12 men as persons of interest and are calling on them to report immediately to the Spanish Town Criminal Investigations Branch. In a statement on Sunday, the police say they believe the men may assist investigations into multiple incidents, such as murders and shootings across the division. The men, known by aliases, are reported from communities such as Quarry Hill, Capture Land, and the Lakes Pen in the Spanish Town Police District. Those are from Quarry Hill, Brandon, Nana, and Sizzler. From Capture Land, OG, Ranger, Shamar or Boise, Predsy, Kemar or Tone Man, Avatar, and Junior Brown. In Lakes Pen, Sweetie from Banana Lane, and Kukuru from Monkey Town. The police are also appealing to anyone with information on the whereabouts of these individuals to contact the Spanish Town CIB at 876-984-2874, 876-984-3165, the 119 police emergency number, or the nearest police station. Popular Manchester businessman convicted a decade after failed plan to kill PCB chairman. A popular Manchester businessman who offered another man $60,000 to kill the top executive at the People's Cooperative Bank in the parish so he could have easier access to loans have been convicted for solicitation to murder. Marvin Morris, the proprietor of several businesses, was found guilty after a 4-week trial that ended in the Manchester Circuit Court on Friday. His sentencing is set for February 7 next year. Angela Butler, a loans officer at the bank, who was also on trial for her alleged involvement in the murder-for-hire scheme, was acquitted earlier in the trial after the presiding judge ruled that there was no case for her to answer. Between October 1 and November 6, 2013, Morris offered General Anderson, the would-be hitman, $60,000 to kill Glenroy Griffiths, then chairman of the PCB, according to evidence presented in court by prosecutors Natalie Malcolm, Assistant Director of Public Prosecutions, Freya Cox, and Luke Cook. Anderson was initially arrested by the police in connection with the plot, but later agreed to become the main prosecution witness. The would-be hitman gave evidence during the trial that in September 2013, Morris told him that he knew a lady who wanted somebody for dead and that the lady was willing to pay $60,000. He said Morris promised to give him an advance of $10,000 to purchase bullets to carry out the attack. Anderson said that Morris provided a cash advance but later shelved the plan to use a gun, opting instead for a screwdriver. He said that the businessman gave him the screwdriver along with instructions on how to stab Griffiths. The would-be hitman gave evidence that he did not know Griffiths, but said Morris took him to the bank's executive offices so he could point him out. He said Griffiths was not at his office that day, so the businessman took him to the home of the PC Bank chairman and showed him around. Anderson said that Morris took him to a garage at the house and showed him where to lay in wait for Griffiths and showed him the escape route he should take. He said the businessman also gave him a telephone so he could call him to transport him from the home after the incident. Anderson gave evidence that on November 6, 2013, Morris transported him to Griffiths' home about 6:30 p.m. He said about 5 minutes later, the businessman called to inform him that the PC Bank chairman was on his way home and also provided a description of the motor vehicle he was driving. However, Anderson said when Griffiths, also a church elder, arrived home, he got cold feet and could not go through with the plot. The would-be hitman said it was like 2 angels descended from heaven because he saw 2 women with wings. He disclosed the details of the deadly plot to Griffiths, who he said transported him to the Spalding police station where he gave another confession. Anderson said while he was giving a statement to detectives, he got several telephone calls from Morris inquiring if the job done yet. He said the police investigators overheard the conversation after he placed the phone on speaker and devised a plan to get the businessman to visit the station. Anderson said at the direction of the police, he told Morris that he was at the police station charged with the possession of ganja and needed bail. The businessman was arrested when he turned up at the station. Anderson said he turned over the screwdriver and the phone Morris provided to police investigators. It was revealed during cross-examination that Anderson's testimony about the businessman's intention to kill Griffiths differed from the evidence he gave during a preliminary inquiry over a decade ago. According to his evidence, during the preliminary inquiry, there was no intent to harm the PC Bank executive. Instead, he said the plan was to fleece the woman who offered them the contract. However, during the trial that ended last week, Anderson explained that his evidence over a decade ago was an attempt to try and protect Morris because of their long-standing friendship. The attorney who represented Morris declined to comment on the case, citing the pending sentencing hearing. Man sentenced to probation for assaulting municipal officer. A man accused of assaulting a municipal officer received a 2-year probation sentence when he appeared in the St. James Parish Court last Wednesday. Tafari Reed pleaded guilty to assault at a common law and a common assault before presiding judge Natisha Fairclough Hilton. According to court documents, on September 16 about 12:42 p.m., the complainant was performing metered parking duties on Lower Union Street in Montego Bay when he noticed the accused cart parked in a no vending area. Despite a motorist's attempt to park, Reed refused to vacate the restricted area. When the officer was about to seize the defendant's cart, the defendant pushed him and brandished a ratchet knife before approaching the officer. The officer had to use a pepper spray to deter the accused. Reed fled, returned with a knife, and made a second attempt to assault the officer. However, the officer managed to pick up an object from the cart and hurled it at the defendant, hitting him in the chest without causing any injuries. The matter was reported to the police, and under caution, Reed said, "Officer, may I tell you the truth? I will go to court to trash it out." In passing the sentence, the judge said, "Mr. Reed, for the next 2 years, you will be working with the probation officers. They are going to teach you how to manage your anger and how you can contribute positively to society. I'm also warning you that if you come back before me, you are not going to like it." President of John Mills Primary PTA says the parents are ready to pull their children if principal is reinstated. Head of the Parent Teachers Association of John Mills Primary and Junior High School, Mark Trott, says the parents are fully prepared to withdraw their children from the institution and stage a protest if suspended Principal Bradley Robinson, who is recently freed of pornography charges, is allowed to return to the school. "We do not want him to return as principal. We are saying yes, the courts have freed him, but we are of the position that he should not return to the school," Trott told the news. In 2014, Robinson was arrested and charged by detectives from the Center for the Investigation of Sexual Offenses and Child Abuse following allegations that he was communicating with a student at the institution by sending her lewd photos via WhatsApp. He was suspended as principal pending the outcome of the case. When the matter was brought to court in October, Robinson's attorney Hugh Wildman argued that his client should be freed because the 9-year delay in trying the case was a breach of his constitutional rights. The prosecution was given a week to respond to the attorney's application, but on October 18, informed the presiding judge, Justice Sonia Bertram Linton, they were not offering any further evidence against the principal. Robinson was discharged. Wildman then implored the judge to return a formal verdict of not guilty, and the judge granted the order. Trott noted that the judge has yet to make a written judgment, and the chairman of the school board has refused to act until this is done, claiming that his hands are tied. As a member of the board and the PTA president of the school, I vehemently disagree with the chairman, Dr. Adolphe Cameron, that the board hands are tied in this matter. The chairman is of the view that since the court has decided to dismiss the case, then the board has no other alternative but to allow Robinson to return to the school in his substantive post without even a personal committee hearing to decide if he is still fit and proper to remain as a principal, said Troth. He argued that the board should not wait on the formal verdict but act immediately to have a proactive response. We don't know how fast Mr. Robinson will act as soon as the written judgment is made out. If he comes in the morning, he could come back to school in the afternoon. We don't know. That's why we are asking the chairman to let us have a board position before the written judgment. But he says he is waiting, and I think that is not a responsible position to take by the board, added the Trot. We should prepare ourselves for what the written judgment is going to be. Seeing that we know what the oral judgment is, the case was dismissed. We are of the thought that if he, Dr. Cameron, is not preparing us to look at the matter in a responsible manner, then we think that he is aiding and abetting the return of the principal, argued the Trot. When contacted by the news for a response on whether the board would reinstate Robinson, Dr. Cameron said he had no comment. He also refused to provide a comment on all questions relating to the topic. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.